We're hunting Wait, what? Humans? Hunting human. That's unsanitary. Hey everybody, welcome to The Real Take. We're talking A Quiet Place in 3, 2, 1. Alright, I just got back from seeing A Quiet Place, and I have to tell you that... No, not the library. No. So the thing about this... No, not the funeral home. The movie is called A Quiet Place. Okay, can I continue? As I was saying, A Quiet Place is a post-apocalyptic horror thriller about a family who has to stay as quiet as possible to avoid being murdered by these crazy-looking creatures that hunt by sound. Now I can say this, if the movie were made about me, it would be a short film because I could not stay quiet that long. But thanks to good old Jim Halpert being smarter than me, this movie's a full-length feature film at about 90 minutes. Now there were a couple things that really surprised me about the movie, and that was, first of all, the fact that it was a horror type film. I figured they'd spend most time scaring you and spend a little bit of time with the backstory, but they actually had a really nice pace to the film where they allowed you to kind of look into what daily life would be for a post-apocalyptic family trying to get through this craziness of monsters trying to kill you all the time. So they showed that pretty well. And the second thing I was surprised with was how well they answered questions going into the movie. And like most of you out there, I was wondering, with it being a post-apocalyptic film, are there other people out there in this world, or is just the stars of the movie like the only people left? And without giving anything away, this movie did answer it very clearly. And another question I had going into it was, how did they learn sign language so quickly? Because in the trailers it shows them signing back and forth, and I thought, that's crazy. So you got these crazy monsters coming after you, and you have time to study ASL, and I was like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But, not being critical here, they do answer that as well, so I was very pleased with that also. Another thing that surprised me about this movie was just how quiet it was. And I'm not trying to be funny or make a pun with it being called The Quiet Place. What really was a quiet place was the movie theater, because there is some limited dialogue and some sounds and music, but I mean, it is pretty limited and it is very quiet. So as far as all the things that surprised me going into the film, I would have to say that almost all of them are positive. I was really pleased with how the movie played out. Now, what did not surprise me about this movie? The fact that it was scary as balls. But seriously, I popped out of my seat a good 4 or 5 times. My popcorn was hitting people 3 rows ahead of me. It was a disaster. But even though I had to change my pants after leaving the theater, I gotta give credit to John Krasinski for doing a fantastic job and taking such a unique approach to horror films. I think it added another level of scare factor because, and that was part of why it was so scary to me. There's a lot of jump scares. But it's a little bit, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it does make it easier to get you to jump when the majority of the film is quiet. Then the louder sounds seem even louder, so there is that to take into effect. So overall, I would say this movie was a huge success, and if you like being scared and like horror films, it's right up your alley. Just keep in mind you might want to bring a tissue box and a change of underwear.